What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Amateur TV for another video on the second channel for Amateur Hour. On this channel, I like to go through additional NBA-related topics, especially concerning the Toronto Raptors, that I just do not have enough time to go through on my main channel, Amateur Sports, with over 11,000 subscribers there. So instead, we do it here, Amateur TV. The vibes are different, a little bit more of an informal approach, a little bit more of a personal touch from myself, but still that great Raptors content that you like to see. So if you like what you see from today's video, be sure to drop a like to drop that extra little bit of support to the channel and to the brand. And make sure you are subscribed to Amateur TV for more videos just like this 3 or 4 times a week. And you can help us on the road to 2,000 subscribers. A little before we get started, if you see me kind of bouncing in this video, it's because I'm on an exercise ball because my cat fell asleep on my chair. And I didn't want to wake her up. I mean, look at her. So just if I'm bouncing up and down, that's why. So today's video, as you saw from the title here, pretty straightforward from the title. Scottie Barnes, who does Twitch streams, I don't know how consistently, but he does Twitch streams. He's building up a good following, really trying to grow his personal brand. He actually started a YouTube channel recently, and I mean, this guy is on his route to superstardom first and foremost. And you know, building an online presence, I think, is something that is definitely going to help him achieve that. And regardless, with these Twitch streams, Scottie Barnes kind of reveals some information. Maybe sometimes he reveals some information he may not be supposed to reveal. And that could be what we see here from one of the clips from his latest stream that we're going to play for you guys right now. Just a sec. Here it is.
So fast with the ball.
A little quiet.
Jarrett Culver got Raps girl on some shit right now.
So somebody sent him a dono and asked him why Jarrett Culver, the former 5th overall pick, a former 5th overall pick, was wearing Raptors gear at the Rico Hines runs.
Did he get signed? I thought he got signed. Jarrett Culver, he's really good. That guy's really good.
So the key part is like right over here.
Raps girl on some shit right now. Did he get signed?
Didn't he get signed?
I thought he got signed.
I thought he got signed. So Scottie Barnes reveals that he thought Jarrett Culver had actually signed for the Toronto Raptors, which is a little bit strange for him to say because the Raptors have not signed Jarrett Culver. They have already the maximum amount of players on their summer camp roster at 20 players. Jarrett Culver is not one of them. So we're trying to figure out exactly where this is coming from, why Scottie Barnes thought that was the case. And a lot of people are suggesting online that, okay, Jarrett Culver signing this, or Scottie Barnes saying this could mean Jarrett Culver has told him he's going to sign, and there's some on the table. But what does that mean for the already maximum amount of players in the roster? Well, does somebody get cut? Is a trade imminent? Because if we make that KD trade and give away a lot of players, we got to sign some more players. And, you know, Jarrett Culver could be one of those guys coming in. So that started a lot of speculation here. But this video, I would like to put a lot of that speculation to bed. So first and foremost, Scottie Barnes, I seriously doubt is in the know on this sort of information. I seriously doubt Scottie Barnes is anywhere in the know on this sort of information. The original account that posted it said very deceivingly, Scottie Barnes confirmed that he thought this thing, which, you know, purposely misleading. I can respect a good clickbait here. I don't really care. It's just interesting video, but it's not confirmation. And I'm not saying he's wrong necessarily, but really don't think Scottie Barnes has that inside information. And the Raptors already have the maximum 20 players in the roster, as I mentioned. And I feel like if they're going to waive somebody like Simi Hyluk, Jalen Harris is going to get that nod before Jarrett Culver gets that nod. Jalen Harris, obviously, we know the whole situation with him. We've talked about him on this channel a couple of times here. And apparently the Raptors actually tendered their qualifying offer to Jalen Harris, which does make Jalen Harris a restricted free agent with the Raptors having those rights. So I feel like if there is an open spot, it will be going to Jalen Harris, but that doesn't mean there couldn't be 2 or more opening spots opening up. But as far as Jarrett Culver signing, why Scottie Barnes is saying this, I mean, look, Scottie Barnes probably isn't like us. You know what? Scottie Barnes is not like us. He's not like you and me. He's not out here like dedicated to, you know, roster stuff, dedicated to all these additional things about the team. Scottie Barnes is probably at home, you know, learning like us. When there's a Woj bomb, He's like just as surprised as anybody else. I don't think the Raptors, I really don't think the Raptors are giving him this sort of information. At Rico Hines runs, where Sky's just showing up to play ball, maybe he sees Jarrett Culver in Raptors gear playing with the Raptors team at the Rico Hines runs, and Scotty's just assuming, hey, I guess he's on the team. I guess we signed him. I didn't hear about that, but I guess we signed him. That's what I think is the likeliest scenario here. Some people were trying to push on me that, oh my God, this really means like a Kevin Durant trade could be happening. But like, no, that's really not that's like, I don't want to come off looking like an ass. I really, really don't think that's what's happening here. I just think Scottie Barnes saw a player that he enjoyed playing with, wearing Raptors gear, and playing on the Raptors teams at the Rico Hines run. But in reality, I think Jarrett Culver's out there hustling, trying to earn a spot in the NBA somewhere. I believe he is a free agent. He has had a pretty miserable first 4 years in the NBA after getting drafted 5th overall, has struggled to make an impact anywhere. And, this is the type of player that the Raptors would consider taking a flyer on. We did it with Stanley Johnson, a former 7th or 8th overall pick in the NBA draft. Didn't work out. And, this is the type of guy, hey, obviously there was a lot of potential there. If not, why would he have been drafted that early in the draft, 5th overall? Maybe we could unlock a little bit. I'm not saying we're going to get that 5th overall pick potential, but hey, can we turn this guy into a serviceable NBA player that can help us win games this season? That's not a player, that's definitely a player the Raptors would consider, but, with the roster implications, like if Jarrett Culver was going to actually make the summer camp roster, well, who do you take out of the current team? Sure, you can waive Semi Hyluk, but like, again, you have to pay that $1.8 million to Semi Hyluk. And why are we saying all these other guys can improve, but not the guy on our team like Semi Hyluk? Obviously, he was horrible last season, and honestly, if he wasn't on a guaranteed deal, he would already be gone from the team. But, we're stuck with him in terms of the contract at $1.8 million. Why can't he bounce back a little bit? So that's first of all. We could cut Svi and make room for Jarrett Culver. Other than that, Juancho Hernangomez is making $2.3 million. You're not going to cut him because he makes more than Svi. Justin Champagnie is a player you could take off the roster, but like, I'm not doing that. Justin Champagnie is 21, and I really like him. I really think he's a good player and has good potential. I want to keep him. Sure, you could cut DJ Wilson, but DJ Wilson wasn't going to make the final roster anyway, so why pay DJ Wilson the partial guaranteed money and then also pay Jarrett Culver just to also likely not make the roster? So you have to think about all these things here. It just doesn't make a lot of sense here. Scottie Barnes, people are saying he's talking to the source. How could he be wrong? Like, Scottie Barnes won't know these things. And neither do I, and I'm just going off of the information present. I'm assuming Scottie Barnes just doesn't really understand what's going on with this entire situation and just assumed he was on the team because he saw him in Raptors gear playing with the Raptors teams and all that stuff. But overall, Jarrett Culver, I would be very shocked if Jarrett Culver got signed for the Raptors, unless there was a trade. But I'd also be extremely shocked if there's any sort of trade like that. People are trying to say that Christian Koloko having not signed his deal is interesting because the Raptors are still positioning themselves for a trade. There's no rush to sign Koloko. We still can. But, like, we have a lot of time to do it. And, if by some shocking circumstance we do make a trade, then, we aren't hard capped by giving Koloko a 3 or 4 year contract instead of the minimum 2-year contract on the NBA. Rookie scale deals for second round picks are 2-year contracts. You can make it 3 or 4, but then you have to go in. You have to actually reach into your cap space to actually do that, whereas you wouldn't have to do that with the 2-year contract. That's how I believe it works. So to not get hard capped, we're taking our time on that one in case something were to happen. So again, Jarrett Culver to the Raptors seems far-fetched. We've spoken about it on this channel. I believe the most popular video on this channel is me reacting to Jarrett Culver wearing that Raptors gear. But even in that one, like, Jarrett Culver playing with the Raptors guys, maybe he's just throwing on Raptors gear because he doesn't have a team. They just gave him some gear to wear, to put on because he didn't want to wear Grizzlies gear or whatever. I don't know. There's a whole lot of other reasons as to why Culver could be wearing Raptors gear, playing with Raptor teams, other than that he's signing for the Raptors. And I don't think Scottie Barnes on Twitch saying, didn't he sign, is proof that the Raptors are planning something huge and actually want to make a trade here. But what do you guys think? Do you think Jarrett Culver will sign for the Raptors? Do you think Jarrett Culver Garrett, do you think Jarrett Culver will sign for the Raptors? Let me hear your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. The poll I made on my amateur community page for the main channel, I'll pull up for you guys. Most of you guys are like pretty adamant that, you know, that's not going to happen. He's not going to be with the team. If you check it out over here, yeah, most people don't think Jarrett Culver is coming. So that wraps it for today's video. If you did enjoy, please drop a like. Drop a like for the sleeping cat that I allowed to continue sleeping. And make sure you're subscribed to Amateur TV for 3 or 4 videos just like this every single week. And I'll see you again next time for another video on Amateur TV. Thank you, everybody.